he rejects the proposal and declares a state of emergency in India. Nehru rallies his troops to launch a counterstrike, but Mao is waiting. The year is 1962. A border war ensues between India and China. After a series of losses, Indian leader Nehru orders 30,000 Indian troops to launch a counter-offensive. The PLA deploy another 20,000 troops to the eastern sector. Their plan, a punitive and devastating attack, will end the war. But it requires a huge undertaking. Ren Lin Shan and Tian Dulai of the 11th Division are ordered to flank Duranzon. But the site lies more than 50 kilometers across the Himalayas. Icy rivers and deep ravines lie in the regiment's path.
这个能到北上走，11次布置的是大北上走，11次的那必然来需要进行迂回包围，这就看到了一个北的小岛。这要说是一个小岛，这根本不是什么小岛，这不好走。这小岛有哪里去？你再上其他山，是横跨喜马拉雅山。
The 11th Division hit the trail on November the 10th. They have just over a week to get to Duranzon.
我们的情况，从加护状况里边发了几场大山，丢了几个冰火，又被狗实现的，补给弹药加倍了，附近一般的都超过60斤到80斤，没有饱过一口开水，没有睡过10分钟以上的觉，没有吃过一顿热饭，那总统来就没有做饭。战士到了非常疲惫的情况下，但是上面批评有人叫停顿，叫休息，稍微一慢一会儿，有的人就是正常经历看久了呀，也就没活了。心里只有一个决心，只要完成任务，战胜敌人，这就是最大的心愿。
On the morning of November the 18th, the PLA's plan comes to fruition with horrific consequences. The second offensive. By the morning of November the 19th, Indian units are completely wiped out.
Indian forces collapsed. Large number of Indian soldiers became POWs. Chinese forces pressed on into Indian territory.
In New Delhi, a panicked Nehru sends a desperate plea to the US, asking for immediate military support. But unexpectedly, Mao orders a ceasefire. Chinese troops withdraw to 20 kilometers behind the line of actual control. Pre-1959 position. Nehru is perplexed.
中国为什么要撤退的？既然取得全面胜利，为什么撤回原地呢？并不想通过武力来占领本土。
Mao is very wary of how China is perceived in this war. It has just coordinated an attack on a fellow Asian nation and leader of the non-aligned movement. Chinese troops have killed thousands of Indian soldiers. The stage is set for a new act in China's global propaganda offensive. These are the propaganda videos they release to the world. POWs are shown to be well treated. They are even released and escorted back to the border. But for the PLA soldiers who fought in the war, there is a different story. Even today, this subject brings back bitter memories.
我们养蜂葫芦，那个啥的，你说是，吃了3年以后坐下来休息，把我们给干的，谁都让人家吃，让人家，实际上我们心里，很期待，也说不那个枪毙了，如果允许的话，让枪把那扫了，不要那个党的政策不允许，党的对人格的俘虏，这操，能让党的政策干死，反正俺是送的。 咋能这样子决定？你打了胜仗，这认为这一点战利品还要交易，非常相悖。江湖彻底过去之后，头一摆看到旁边要给人交的这些战利品，眼里有的啥也不影响。吃了这么大的苦，
What?
做成了这么大的事，今天的。
No, but I can. I got some bags in here, so yeah, I can.
所以说这样又会交给人，这一仗这不是咱们白打。
Joe sends a letter to Nehru, claiming China has been acting in self-defense this entire time. There is no need for further military action, as India, the aggressor, has been repelled.
那么当时呢，是中国是不想把这种以边界的冲突演变成两国的交战，希望尽快解决。实际上打的这一场边界冲突目的不是为了，是为了让印度的领导人降服。当然最后的。
The logistics of this war is more complex.
And a lot of surprise, and some consternation, and a lot of discussion
There's a bag
about
there.
just why China had stopped and
hold it
where
open
things
while
would
I-
go next. And at first expected last 6 months.
I don't want to dump my feet.
What this conflict, what effect it would have on relations between
Mao's Cold War with India would have serious repercussions on its most important alliance.
Cool.
Soviet leader Khrushchev
Thank you.
makes it no secret that he considers China the aggressor. With the seeds of distrust planted, China will lose its closest ally. November 1962. The People's Liberation Army had defeated the Indian Army and advanced further south. But instead of pushing further, Mao pulls back his army, and they retreat to 1959 lines. But relations with India will take decades to normalize. To this day, China has not settled its border disputes with India. The lines of actual control, or the LAC, remain heavily fortified.
On the Chinese side, there's been a lot of infrastructure development, and this is one of the reasons why the Indians are even more worried today about what the Chinese are doing along the boundary. The Indians have started moving into territories close to the LAC because given China's military modernization, there are fears in India that India will be caught unprepared once again. So there is this massive military modernization process on both sides and movement of troops closer to the LAC.
For the Chinese veterans who fought in the Sino-Indian conflict, the Cold War was a dangerous era, a period filled with sacrifice and suffering.
通过当兵，通过打仗，这是我一生最重要的我个人的一个第四阶段。这两个字在做兵的是影响极大，是我一生没经过，也感染了我，淬炼了我，对意志起到了很大的改变。
原来呢，确实是有点在这个人出下来。如果是俺这个人，就是要解放军的华容船，而不发射。因为这个人啊，有了这种精神，什么困难就可以。
The Sino-Indian War has been instrumental in shaping and molding the mentality of the Chinese leadership. Emerging out of that conflict would be a China just 13 years old. But Mao and his commanders have proved they fear no one. China has shown it is willing to go to war alone to claim land it considers part of itself. But China's war against India has sown the seeds of distrust with its key communist ally.
苏联和印度的关系的热络，当时在中国共产党人看来，就是说苏联是在明显的在违背它的这个整个的社会主义的大家庭大势。
The stage is set for China's next war. The next decade will see the Soviet Union transform from China's #1 ally to our most hated enemy. In the decades following World War II, a new era of frosty relationship is ushered between the greatest superpowers of the time, the Cold War. For many, it means capitalist nations pitted against the communist camp, an ideological battle between East and West, the USA versus the Soviet Union. But it isn't so clear-cut. A third party muddies the waters and brings complexity to this relationship. And the man responsible for this is the founder of Chinese communism itself, Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong.
Mao doesn't always align himself with the Soviet Union against the US. Mao's position shifts between the Soviets and the Americans, disrupting the balance of power. For so long, China's involvement in the Cold War has been hidden from public record. Until now. Newly released Chinese archives have shed light on Mao's Cold War strategies and intimately reveal personal stories on the ground. These are the eyewitness accounts of the men and women who fought on the front lines of Mao's Cold War.
What's up, Joe? Man, I'm just sitting here trimming.
The year is 1950. Gao Futian is barely 20 years old when he's sent to battle at Chosin Reservoir in North Korea in the thick of winter.
我呀，今年整80，24。我呀，到朝鲜以后是3江39军的战地救护工作。到朝鲜呢，给我的印象最深的就是雪，满山遍野全是雪，你根本看不着人，真雪的还特别冷，可是路还特别。在这个走山路的过程当中，你白天你还不能走，用飞机轰炸你，你晚上还得走，晚上走啊，你东西你背不了。我记得我从前面到后边，我给你倒了半程，我那鞋跟都没了。
A war breaks out in the Korean peninsula between the capitalist South and communist North. Chairman Mao calls on young Chinese revolutionaries to fight for the nation. Gao and thousands of others rally around the call of party chairman Mao Zedong to help North Koreans fight against China's enemies in Korea. These are among the rarest archive images captured during the war by Chinese wartime photographers. Only recently have these been made public. Five years before the Korean War breaks out, East Asia is a sea of turmoil. It is 1945. Japan has just surrendered following the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Korean Peninsula is divided along the 38th parallel between North and South, backed by the Soviet Union and the US respectively. China, too, is reeling from the Japanese occupation. With the end of World War II, China is thrown once again into a civil war between the US-backed Kuomintang and the Chinese Communist Party. A communist leader is on the rise. His name, Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong attends the founding conference in 1921. A man of the soil, he believes that the ultimate power in China belongs to the peasants, who make up 80% of the nation's population. Mao is known for his brilliant military strategies.
The military strategy of Mao Zedong took shape during World War II and developed fully during the Chinese Civil War between 1946 and 1949. It was called Revolutionary War, a war against imperialism and national
Yo.
Hey, I still don't know how to use this fucking software yet, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Mao takes control of the
Trim jail.
and proclaims the People's Republic.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trimming Gorilla Glue right now, man.
Hell yeah. Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
On June 25th, 1950, an incident in neighboring Korea changes the course of history. North Korea
Sent her a link, too.
What's that?
I said Misty should be
What's
in here,
that?
too.
Yeah.
September 15th, the Americans made a tactical decision to retreat from
So what you up to today, man? Anything exciting?
Not much. I was just on the phone with her, and then I seen you popped on. I thought I was going to come join you, and I sent her the link to watch.
Yeah, we're just gonna be trimming for a while. I figured I'd throw it on there and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
Got nothing else to do.
Could come trim over on my live. I could start one up.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm glad to join yours, man, because mine ain't going nowhere. I just threw it on there to
I'll start one up.
do. Yeah, I'll come on over. Yeah.
All right.
All right, dude. Later.
Oh. Okay.
So the United States seems as a kind of
Hey, Maiden's Garden, we're going to go on over to Joe's live stream now because nobody wants to be on this one anyway. So I'm going to end this in a little bit, and we're going to head on over to Joe's Secret Garden, and I will continue to trim. It's nice seeing you, though. We're going to end this now and head on over there. Later.